Yo, what's good, my nephews and nieces? This is your favorite uncle, Uncle Demi, and today I have another special banger for you, right? Today we're going to talk about the instant green animations, but before we get into the video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, as liking the video push the video to the recommended, and of course subscribe and put your nutty game for my daily uploads. Without further ado, let's hop straight into the video. Okay, so a lot of individuals were excited when they saw that the instant greens were back into the game. And they are back into the game. First, I want to state why the instant greens, why there was a delay in the instant greens. And delay in instant greens were basically, to me, was twofold. One, in real life, nobody really knows when they shoot a shot that it's going in. There's a lot of times you think the shot's going in, it's air ball, right? You know, how, if you shooters, you know, like sometimes it's lined up perfectly, but it's a little short, right? I've airball shots when I was in college. And remember, I'm a former D1 basketball player. And there was times, and I was a shooter, there was a times when I would shoot, I would line up, I'm like, oh yeah, this buckets. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people that are shooters or just shoot, they know there's a lot of times when you sit there, you hold it up, you think it's a perfect shot and you miss it, right? So 2K wanted that feeling of like, hey, you're not gonna really know when you shoot it if it's going in, okay? That's one. Two, the other one is that it was, the mindset was to prevent fast breaks, right? Where people would just literally cherry pick. Soon the shot will go up, everybody will know if it wasn't instant green, they will always start running down the floor for like, you know, these unrealistic fast breaks, because in reality, once again, people are just, when the shot goes up, are just not going to be just immediately all 9 people are running back down the floor because they know it's an instant miss. So those are the two reasons behind why there wasn't instant greens. Okay, now instant greens, let's just get it from Mike Wang's perspective first. So the question was asked, and again it was in Discord. It said, are instant green animations back? He said there's a new shot feedback option called Simple in a custom HUD menu that is on by default. This will display your timing feedback immediately once you release your shot. If you want full shot feedback, which includes defensive coverage, you'll want to choose the visibility setting to all shots. Full shot feedback is delayed, just like in NBA 2K24. So that's the catch, all right? A lot of players are going to want to know what that contest was. Percentages means a lot to a lot of competitive players. They want to get a feel for what was that coverage percentage. What was that? Was that a 70%? Was that a 20%? You know, that type of deal. Also, if you're using rhythm shooting, there's 3 different tiers that you have to time perfectly. Okay, you have to be able to time all 3 tiers perfectly. Mike Wang did answer the question about rhythm shooting. I want to talk about the timing aspect of it. It says, how does shot feedback work for rhythm shooting? While using rhythm shooting, there are 2 main factors to consider: the push timing and the tempo. But there's also going to be the set point, the tempo, and then the release. Okay, all 3 of those. And he left that portion out. It says push timing is the point you start to move the pro stick, which you'll want to do the moment your player reaches the set point of the shot. Tempo is the speed at which you move the pro stick to the opposite side of your original stick throw. The goal is to finish the stick deflection to the opposite side exactly to match the point the ball releases the player's fingertips. Generally, this is going to feel a little slower, rhythmic than other double throw mechanics like skill dunks or cross combos, especially with more deliberate shooters like Jokic or Kyle Anderson. My best advice is to go into the freestyle practice and get up a ton of shots, paying close attention to the shot feedback after each attempt. Paying close attention to the shot feedback after each attempt. You heard that, right? Paying close attention to the shot feedback after each attempt. Trust me, it'll pay off in a much higher shooting percentage if you put in the time to master rhythm shooting. Okay, so there you have it. So if you're doing rhythm shooting and you want, listen, if you want instant greens, you're not going to get the feedback for this right here, what Mike's talking about. Listen, it's impossible in this day and age with so much data. Everybody wants data points. Everybody needs to know all the data. This is a lot of people are excited about it, and I don't know why. I really don't care about the instant greens, right? Because for the most part, you know, it is what it is. You're used to it now. But I care more about, well, what was my shot slightly early, slightly late? What was the percentages of that type of deal. So instead of having just an instant green that just says excellent, slightly early, late, slightly late, that's what you get with the simple. With the normal, you know, type that we have, you'll get, you know, the percentages of that, and then if you're doing rhythm shooting, it will let you know the tempo, the release, and there's one more other thing. It's the tempo, it's the push timing, the tempo, and the release. The push timing, the tempo, and the release. Those three, you will not be able to get that. You'll just get the slightly early, slightly late. We was like, well, what was my tempo? Well, you're not gonna know what your tempo is because you have to have on the full features of the shot feedback. And I think that's what a lot of people have to understand. Hopefully that's not confusing individuals, but if you want to get that instant green, you're gonna have to sacrifice all the other data that you will usually get from shooting. All right? And that's what you have to ask yourself. And I know a lot of comp players, they're not gonna do that. They're gonna wanna know what their contest was. And then also a lot of comp players are gonna be using rhythm shooting. Trust me, a lot of people, you should be using rhythm shooting. It's just gonna be another tool that's just gonna give you an advantage once you master it. And you're gonna wanna know, you know, well, what was my push timing? What was my tempo? What was that release? So you got the push timing and tempo that you're not gonna get. The only thing you will get is the release, which will be slightly early, slightly late, or excellent. If it's excellent, you get an instant green on simple feedback, okay? So that's, hopefully I cleared that up and you understand why it's so important to understand that you do not necessarily need to try to get attached to the instant green, because you're gonna lose a lot of data that we are accustomed to having. The casual and the comp are accustomed to having those type of feedbacks. There's nothing more frustrating with simple timing and you think somebody contest that was wide open, but yet you don't even know what the contest was. You can't even screenshot it to send it to Mike or put it on Twitter and complain, right? You get no feedback. You just get the slightly early, slightly late, or excellent, right? That's it. And I don't think a lot of y'all are gonna wanna do that. So just keep that in mind. Y'all let me know in the comment section, how do y'all feel about that? In order to get instant greens, you have to have simple timing. If you do have simple timing on, you lose all the other data points that we've been accustomed to. And now with the new rhythm shooting, you're gonna lose 2 data points of push timing and tempo. Also, you will not get that feedback. So let me know in the comment section what you think about that. But other than that, it's your favorite old head, Uncle Demi. I'll be back really, really soon with a banger, man. You know, when I say back soon with a banger, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about tomorrow, man. I'm out.